tonight. A Cook Islands maths teacher says he has been treated unfairly after being arrested for failing to pay his student loan. Ngato-kotoru Puna ran up a $40,000 student loan 20 years ago whilst earning a Bachelor of Arts degree at Auckland University. The loan has now spiralled to $130,000. It's the first time Inland Revenue has used its power to detain someone with unpaid student debt. The nephew of the Cook Islands Prime Minister was in New Zealand for an education conference and was returning to the Cook Islands on Monday when he was pulled aside at the airport.
I went to the custom lady and she looked at me, looked into the camera, and then she told me to take a seat. But I had an emergency passport anyways, because I sort of lost mine before I came, paid $500, to come over. So I thought it was just my emergency passport, something wrong with it. So sat there, ate my KFC. I've had a couple of pieces on my hand, so ate that. And then the police came and said I was under arrest for student loans. I'm saying, student loans? So I started looking around, thinking that was a practical joke or something. I've seen, Facebook pranks and things like that. I'm thinking, is this a joke? And it wasn't. Tried to talk to the guy and explain, because he's saying basically I haven't been, I've been avoiding IRD, and I said, well, I made arrangements last time to put me on a holiday for 3 years because I'm under the threshold. So, So
I need to clarify
I get
this.
a letter from them, then I get back to them to arrange my situation, how much I'm getting, and things like that.
So you're a teacher in the Cook Islands, right?
Yes, that's right.
And what do you earn as a teacher in the Cook Islands?
Well, we start at $25,000.
Okay, so $25,000, no repayments required of your student loan, right?
Yeah, up to 30. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
you acknowledge you have a student debt.
Yes.
When you finished studying, it was $40,000.
That's right.
What is it now?
It's almost 130,000, I think. Yeah, I got a sort of shocked because of the amount that is accumulated over the years. Finished my studies in 2003, and I've kept with IRD just to to make sure that they know my situation and things like that. But they sent me a letter.
You believed you were under the threshold. What did the letter say? Did the letter say you didn't have to pay anything?
Yeah, that's right. And there was and now the Pacific Island, I think since 2010 or something like that, we're interest free.
So did you have any idea it had grown from 40,000 to 130,000?
No idea.
Okay.
I had no idea that it's gone that much.
Inland Revenue have said they tried repeatedly to persuade you to make some payments, that they've called you, they've emailed you. Did you receive those calls? Did you receive any formal notification from Inland Revenue that you were considered in default, as it were?
Yeah, no, I never got anything from them. That's what I told them. But just according to my lawyer, if I want to fight it, then I'd be spending more time here, and I didn't want to do that. So we had to make some kind of payment. That's what has happened yesterday and today.
Okay, so you've made a payment, which was how much?
I paid $5,000 for the obligations this year. So
and then you're going to have to go back and start servicing a $130,000 debt.
Yeah, well, yeah, something like that.
Do you have any idea, did anyone explain why it was you that got pulled aside like this?
No idea. But I've seen it on Facebook now. They're saying, Prime Minister's nephew. But I said that maybe because I'm I don't know.
Were you wealthy? Did you when you were going through university? Did you have lots of money?
No.
Okay.
No.
So the student loan got you through university. Did you work your way through university as well?
Yes, I was working because.
What sort of work?
Cater air, cleaning jobs. Yeah. I remember working at farmers at night, cleaning. Just to get some extra money just to live here, because I was.
Okay, so you were taken into the police station and held for how long?
but from 8 o'clock to 3:30.
Processed through the process room,
Yeah.
searched.
Yeah, search and then into that cold room with about 10 people, I think, and there was all sorts of people there. I'm not one to judge, but there was a lot of swearing. There was a lot of people just got arrested for being drunk and disorderly behavior and things like that. So I'm sitting there, just feeling like, do I belong to this group? Is there a group where, is there room for people with just student loan, or I just felt like I was a criminal, like, that was it sort of hit me that I'm sitting with the criminal, so maybe I am a criminal.
Do you feel like a criminal?
No, I am not a criminal.
What are you going to do now?
Well, we've made some inroads when we had John Campbell there as the New Zealand High Commissioner to recognise independent learners from the Cook Islands who come here, get there, upgrade themselves, and then go back to the Cook Islands, return to the Cook Islands.
But you still, all of that is a separate issue really, because you have a debt of $125,000 or $130,000, which you have to pay. And as a teacher in the Cook Islands, you're earning what now? You started on $25,000. You're earning what now?
I'm 35 now. I'm the upper lot now.
Okay. So teaching is
so
not.
I'm the head of department.
And you're earning $35,000 a year.
National college. So
right.
I'm one of the highest paid teachers.
How are you possibly going to pay back a debt of $125,000, $130,000?
That's a good question. That's the $1 million question.
Ngato-kotoru Puna. He's not the only one facing action by the IRD. The New Zealand Union of Students Association says it's worried harsh penalties will see student loan defaulters turned into permanent outcasts, simply staying offshore. It says the IRD isn't doing enough to give students abroad options to pay back their loans and will only scare them away. Mohammed Hassan reports.
The IRD says 2 out of every 3 graduates who go offshore don't pay their student loan back. But it says this week's arrest was a last resort and isn't a sign of things to come. The Union of Student Association's acting president, Laura Harris, says that still sends a chilling message.
It's very concerning. A lot of people are worried that they won't be able to come back into New Zealand if they have student loan debt. A lot of parents are worried that they won't be able to see their children again because they won't come back because they have student loan debt. So it has had a sort of knock-on effect.
Ms. Harris says she gets a lot of messages from students abroad struggling to make payments.
The overseas student loan repayment scheme is very difficult for a lot of students abroad because it is based on how large your loan is as opposed to your income, and there are quite high interest rates.
She says even though the IRD says the arrest was a last resort, it's not quite clear what that is.
We don't know how bad it has to be before we get arrested in the middle of an airport. Does it mean we don't pay for a year? Does it mean we move house and lose correspondence with IRD and then all of a sudden are arrested?
The IRD collections manager for student loans, Stuart Duff, says an arrest warrant was only issued for Ngato-kotoru Puna after the department tried to reach him repeatedly.
From our side, we did actually make contact with the customer through the various channels of email, phone and letters to the customer, and it's the most extreme cases. If a borrower persistently refuses to make a payment or contact with us, we will consider requesting an arrest warrant.
Jamie Coleman, a banker who lives in Australia, says she borrowed $8,000 for a tourism course 18 years ago. She says she tried to contact IRD several times and was told her details weren't in the system.
When I was 21, I went back to New Zealand for a visit, and I actually tried to contact the Inland Revenue to obviously let them know that, to sort out my student loan, to also move to change my address details because I needed to have it all sent to my mum's house. And they said, well, we don't have any record of that loan.
But nearly 2 decades later, last October, while visiting family in New Zealand, she was called by an IRD staff member who told her she now has to pay up.
I said, how much is it? And he said it was about up to $64,000. And he said, if you can make a payment of $34,000 by the 30th of March. And I said, well, there's no chance I can do that. I said, I still don't earn over $45,000 a year in Australia.
Ms. Coleman says she's trying to work out a more reasonable plan with IRD, but would now think twice about coming back to the country for fear she too might be arrested. The IRD steward Duff says it's not unheard of for someone's details to be lost for such a long time.
It is possible, and I think we just need to tie it back saying that the borrowers actually need to keep in contact with us with their current contact details as per their student loan contract when they take out the loan, that they should keep in contact with us at all times of their contact details.
He says by law, he's not able to comment on any specific case due to privacy issues. For Checkpoint, Mohammed Hassan.